Chill out. Good morning. It's morning for most of us. Some may be in the afternoon. It's me, Kizzy B. I am so grateful to see you on this Saturday. It's an amazing day, y'all. The wind is whipping. So my girls and I are sitting here trying to figure out how we can make these items not blow away with the wind, get carried away. So if y'all can be patient with me, go ahead and share the broadcast. Get a few more people in as we are going to grow together. This is our first of many clinics. Come grow with me, Kizzy B. We're going to be growing fresh fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, and plants. Everything that you need to sustain wellness. You know, one of the benefits is just having your own food available at your fingertips. And so we're going to do this clinic today. I know you don't see me just yet because, again, like I said, when we got to our location, the wind is like literally beating us down. So what we're doing now is finishing the last part of the setup so that it'll be easy for you to see everything you need to come grow with me. And look, I have a special guest here today. We have Tabitha, who is one of the most amazing people on the planet. And you know why I say that? Because she has the desire to grow her own community garden. And so, Tabitha, while I'm setting up, I don't know if you want to come off screen, you don't have to, but can you explain to them exactly what is your initiative and what are you doing? Welcome, Tabitha. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'll come off camera just for you. um, so my name is Tabitha Paul, and we started Planted with Purpose Gardens last year. I want to
I
say
don't know about
the
them, but I can't hear you at all.
I don't know.
Let's see. Give me some volume on there. Thank y'all for coming. If you want to put comments, let me know if you can hear me. You do have to put your comments in the StreamYard or give Facebook permission for you to comment if you don't see the comments right away. Hey Tabitha, I don't know if they can hear you or not. Let's try it again. So it's so okay, good. Angela says she can hear us. Hey Jackie, now I see my comments. Y'all, we're outdoors, so we had a little delay. The wind is literally whipping us up. It's no joke. And so I am still setting up, but I wanted Tabitha to share with us. It's just I could not hear Tabitha. So let's try it again. Hey Angela, love you. Hey Margie, so great to see you.
Kizzy, can you hear me? I don't know if Kizzy can hear me. Hold on, let me see. I don't know. Kizzy, can you hear me? Ah, that's what it is. Okay, so for some reason Kizzy can't hear me, but everyone else can hear me. So hold on, give me 1 second.
All right. So look, we're gonna try it one more time. I know sometimes with the StreamYard, if you don't give it permission, they won't be able to hear you. So while we're doing that, listen to this. This is one of the ladies who helps me with my garden as well. I recorded her today. And while we're doing that, y'all go ahead and share the broadcast. Get a few more people in. We are about to get started with our container gardens. If you didn't get your supplies, don't worry about it. Guess what? This video is gonna stay up and it will give you a good understanding of what you need so that you're able to grow your own vegetables right in your backyard. This is one of my favorite farmers. She helps me with all of my aloes and all my plants. And so she did a quick video this morning, like a 30-second video. Enjoy. Hello there. What is the benefit of growing your own plants?
The benefit is that I help people to love plants. I enjoy myself doing it, not just because the monetary purpose, but it's relaxing, it's enjoying, and I give people something they care about it, and I
I,
care about it.
I love it. And, of course, I'm getting this today. Y'all know Kizzy B grows her aloe for Aloe Darling. And I was able to get this beauty today. Thank you so very
You're
much.
welcome.
Okay. All right, that is amazing. That's one of my favorite people. I grow vegetations with her. I see her at the farmers market every week, sometimes twice a week. And so, one of the things I've learned about when you grow your own vegetation, it doesn't matter if you are a novice, a beginner, or if you really are an expert. I just say, no matter what your status is, get started. No matter what, you should just get started. All right. So that's what we're doing today. Can I help you? I'm gonna let y'all know I am literally a novice at this. I love fresh fruit. I love fresh vegetables. I love herbs. And sometimes it's not easy to find exactly what I'm looking for. So what I did is I started small. I said, let me start with what I do know how to do. And that was like, parsley and things like that. So, one of the things we did is we went to the farmer's market. I'm going to let you see. These are some of the things I picked today. So, this is a tomato plant. Can y'all see that? This is, what do we have, y'all? Tomato, we have lavender, we have rosemary. I have some turnips that I received last week, mint, parsley. I have two varieties of parsley. I have some aloe. This is peppers. Y'all, we're going to plant, at least, I'm going to go ahead and do 5 of them because I also have some of my bigger plants over here. Of course, I love aloe. So, yeah, somehow Minnie made her debut. Hey, Minnie. And there's going to be some other plants that we're going to grow as well. I'm also going to get lettuce, cabbage. What else did we say? Okra. Yep, we're going to do all of this. So the first clinic today is just going to start with the basics because again, I don't want you to feel intimidated by the first time you actually start. I also have some seeds. Isn't that amazing? You don't have to have already propagated vegetation. I'm going to try to get Tabitha back, y'all. She is the expert on this. And Tabitha has so much information that she wants to share with us. So let me get Tabitha back in here. Okay, I think I got you back, Tabitha.
Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Can you say something for us?
Can you hear me now? No, can't hear me.
Go to your mic and see if you can give permission for Facebook to use your, especially if you have an iPhone, you have to give permission to StreamYard to use your mic. All right, y'all are so patient. Thank y'all. So because we want to hear from Tabitha. Tabitha has a wealth of knowledge, so I definitely want to hear from her. All right, so Zoe is going to be my. You're going to have to film for me while we finish this. So listen, if you don't have any clue where to start, what I have is an ebook, and if by the end of this, you're going to have a link because I forgot to upload it. Sorry, but on that link, it'll tell you your zones. Because one of the things I learned, and Tabitha, again, you're the expert, you need to know what zone to plant. Because if you don't know your zone, you're just gonna give yourself a hard time. I learned that I'm in zone 9, and I believe I also can. I think we can accommodate 10. I may be wrong with that. So what does that mean? The hardness zone tells you about the climate that is normally familiar to your region and your area. Not all plants grow equally. So again, in the Louisiana area, we are more of the hot, I don't even think we have 4 seasons here for real. I think we go from summer to maybe somewhat of an autumn, fall, and then back to summer. I don't see spring. Like this is spring, but it's really hot out here. I'm going to start sweating. The wind is blowing, so it's beautiful for that. Let me see if I can get Tabitha to speak again.
Can you hear me, Kizzy? Because it looks like everyone on Facebook can hear me, but you can't hear me. So I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. I'm trying to message her, guys, so she can see what I'm saying.
Hey Tabitha, you can just keep speaking. I have no idea why I can't hear you, but we're listening to you. If Facebook can hear you, I'm good. I'm going to get my other device so I can hear you on Facebook.
Okay, so I'm sure y'all heard her. So my name is Tabitha Paul. I am the founder of Planted with Purpose Gardens. We are located in Florida. We don't have an actual location yet, a physical location. Right now, we are looking for some land. So our initiative right now, what our mission is to be able to feed people farm fresh produce at no cost. Um, we want to just grow everything that we grow, anything that comes from the ground will be given, donated to homeless shelters, food pantries, churches, anywhere that's in need of food. Like I said, a lot of homeless shelters and stuff like that. Even there was another one, wasn't there somewhere else too? My husband's behind me. I'm trying to get some information from him too. But we want to just donate to the community pretty much. That's what we're doing. So we want to start hopefully this year. We have a few options that we are looking at, but we haven't secured anything officially yet. So we are looking to get some land. I mean, at least an acre. That's what we're saying. We're in Florida. Volusia County is where we are looking right now to start. We have a lot of fruit trees right now that have been given to us over the course of time. So they're just waiting for a place to be planted. So Planted with Purpose, like I said, is the name of the organization. We have a fundraiser currently. We've raised about 2,000 right now. So give or take, that's what we're going to be using. Our goal is, it's going to sound like a lot to some, but our goal is 300,000, because the price of land over here in Florida is not a cheap penny, but the price for God is nothing. So we know that it could be easy, but we're just waiting on the right time frame. We're not jumping the gun or anything. We're not just doing anything just to do it. We're waiting on strategic instruction from the Lord, and whenever the Lord tells us to do it, that's when we're gonna do it. But other than that, I'm excited to be here to talk about whatever Kizzy wants to talk about with container gardening. I'm a fan of doing all types of gardening, container, raised garden beds. You know, we do all that. I've done that at previous places before. At the last place that I volunteered at, so I'm excited. But you have it, Kizzy.
I love it. I love it so much. I hope y'all can hear me clearly as well. And Tabitha, believe it or not, I actually was able to hear you that time. So I don't know what the delay was about. However, I really do appreciate you just coming on and sharing your expertise. You most certainly know more than I do. Again, I am a novice at this. If y'all see my table, I'm still putting my soil, my mixtures out, my seeds out. And one of the things I learned, Tabitha, it gives you freedom from that burden of saying, will I have enough food to eat? When you can learn how to grow your own food, it gives you food security. And a lot of times we know there's a lot of places that have what's called a food desert where they can't readily get to fresh fruits and vegetables. Well, if you know anything about me, y'all know I preach this, teach this all the time. Every single thing you need in this earth realm, God has already provided to sustain life and longevity. Oh, there we go the wind. Stuff is blowing everywhere. Hold on. Thank you. To sustain life and longevity. So I believe your first premise of anything you eat should come from the earth first, and then everything else comes second. So this is one of the main reasons why I absolutely love what you're doing, Tabitha, because your community is going to provide food for those who do not have it readily available. And guess what? Even if they can't afford it, they'll be able to eat. This is something I saw on a TikTok. I think it was last night. They said every, every single food you need for your body, do you know you can get it for free? And Tabitha, I thought that was so fascinating. I said, we spend I know I do. At least $5 on lettuce when actually I can grow lettuce one time, right? And then I can continue to produce that lettuce and then eventually it pays for itself, right? And so now it's free and I can give it out to others. So when he said that, I said, this is something that I think we need to start thinking about. We do not have a food. Here, let me come on, Mike. We do not have a food shortage. What we have is a food lack of knowledge. We don't know how to grow our food, so we think that we have to keep going to these big manufacturers. We think we have to depend on these restaurants when you can do it all yourself. And so that's the mindset that I am working hard. I got my partner, Erica and Tabitha here. We're going to talk you through. Now, let me see. I don't know how to turn the camera around so y'all can see my table because it's fantastic. That's Little Bean is with me. The oldest is say hey. And Minnie decided to join in on the fun. So, y'all, you said this is your clinic. How do I turn my camera around? Because I want y'all to see all these amazing vegetations that we have here, and we're gonna grow these. Now, Tabitha, I'm gonna tell you right now, the most I've ever grown was parsley. My rosemary, as a matter of fact, this is the parsley I grew from my windowsill, and I'm gonna replant it because I'm pretty sure it's getting so limp. It's probably time to replant. I grew this from my windowsill. I grew this mint. Mint is invasive. We know this. So I have this mint I grew from my windowsill. And what else? My rosemary died. Lord, it was terrible. My aloe did very well. And then we have some peppers. These peppers are amazing, y'all. So we're gonna replant the peppers. Tabitha, you have any advice for me before I get started? Oh, so let me explain to you. I have, if anyone cares, when you're in the region that I'm in, I have to use white containers because the sun absorbs very quickly in the dark containers. And if my plant doesn't need as much sunlight, I choose to do the white containers. And something that I also learned is when you buy your containers, I'm not going to use these today because I want to do fig trees. I'm going to do fig tree and a citrus tree next week. So these will be for next week. But you notice, I don't know if y'all can see this. It says food, hold on, food grade container. So you want to make sure that whatever containers you buy that's plastic, we're going to drill some holes at the bottom of them, make sure it's properly draining, okay, and food grade containers. So your container, so in order, you need to know your zone, all right? You got to know what your hardness zone is so you can pick the best vegetation. Number two, I have a variety. I mean, you can pick whatever you want. I have a variety of plants to grow. Number three, know your container type because you want to make sure, like for me, again, the darker containers are fine for heat sustaining plants, like my aloes. I keep them in the dark because they love heat. But some of these other plants, they don't want as much heat. So we do the white so that the sun reflects off. Number four, know your soil. You have to know your soil. So you notice this is what I have. It's called a potting mix. And I did one for an outdoor container because I'm going to use this outside. It doesn't have to be organic. I prefer organic personally because I'm using it for my vegetables. That's why I did organic. All right. So know the type of soil that you're going to use. You don't want to use what's called a potting soil for vegetations because I need to have those nutrients and I need that density in that soil so that the moisture can absorb and release into the plant at a good time. Tabitha, am I on track so far?
You sounded pretty good to me. It sounds pretty good. I was gonna say too, when you like when you're seed starting to make sure, like obviously like you're transplanting. So what you're doing is you're putting a one plant into a bigger pot. So when you're starting seeds, it's good to have loose soil. So you want to have like cocoa core stuff like that, so the seeds can they can germinate faster. Because if you get something like potting soil, which has like a lot, sometimes like certain potting soils have like twigs and like little hard pieces in it and stuff, and the little babies aren't able to grow as deep and their roots get like root bound and they get stuck like at the top of the pot instead of going all the way down.
I love it. So Zaya actually in her clinic, she's going to start seeds. Do I have this upside down? She's doing micro seeds, and this is the soil that came with it. Can you see it? It's the loose soil that you mentioned. I also have broccoli that we're going to start from seed. Zaya says she wants to do the seeds. Me, what is it called again? Not propagation. When you transplant it, what is that called?
Yeah, it's transplanting. So you well, I just call it up potting. Like when you put one when you have like a small pot and you want to go to a bigger pot, I just call it up potting. That's just what I call it.
You got it. So we're gonna up. Kizzy's gonna up. Oh, Tabitha, why I got you here now? Because I need your advice on this, y'all. I love turnips. Okay, I eat turnips like pretty much 3 to 4 times a week. Well, we noticed my daughter. She said my turnips start growing hair. These I left on the counter, and so they started. What is this called? Sprouting, rooting? I don't know what it's called.
It could be because with those types of plants, like if you cut that top off, it'll flower and then give you seeds. So it might be just trying to make like a new stem so it can make some so it can flower and make seed.
Okay, so you said cut this top off where the green is, or cut this part?
If you cut the top off, like right where like it's like a carrot. You ever seen like a carrot? You cut the top off a carrot and the
Yep,
top grows. It won't give you a new carrot, but it'll keep growing a stem. But like I said, but it'll flower and then that'll give you seeds like down the line.
I love it. So I can do something with this because I wasn't gonna toss it. All
Or you
right.
could compost it. I don't know if you compost. You could always
Oh,
compost it too.
so glad you said that. Since you said compost, can you give us what do we need to do to start? Because I don't know, but I do believe you should compost. Can you give us what to start and how to keep our compost going?
So with composting, it's really like trial and error. I mean, everything that we do in the planting world, in the gardening world, agriculture, whatever, whichever definition you want to use, it's pretty. Like I said, it's all to your own liking. So everyone has their own ways of doing it. But with the ways I found that works is when you're composting, you have to make sure that the compost doesn't stay too wet because when it gets too wet and it's like really gushy, you'll get like there's these flies called soldier flies, I think, and like it'll take over the whole compost. I mean, it's still good, like it breaks it down, but it's not gonna break it down as fast as like if you start putting. So like if you ever tried lasagna gardening, so lasagna gardening is when you have a garden box and then you put like big logs at the bottom, which are like the base parts, and then you're filling it in. So you put the big logs at the bottom, then you put, if I'm not mistaken, twigs, then you put brown leaves, and then like the green leaves, and then you start putting your soil on top, and that all breaks down. So it's the same thing when it comes to composting. With composting, you could put like cardboard, you could put newspaper. So you want to make sure you put things that are gonna biodegrade fast enough. You could always add some worms. The best types of worms for composting for me have been red wigglers or wrigglers. They call them. It's WR, so it's an odd word to say. But red wigglers because they eat everything and they'll just break down like all the compost and stuff. So you could put. You don't want to put any dairy. You don't want to put like actual meat, like anything that's seasoned. You want to put like I said, just either vegetable scraps. You want to put paper. You want to put trees, like any type of brush that you have outside. If you ever like pull out a bunch of weeds and stuff like that, they usually don't tend to grow because if you cover them with something darker on top of it, they're not going to be able to grow up and go anywhere. So if you cover the greens that were alive, like the weeds and stuff like that, you cover that with some paper, it shouldn't grow. So you should be good with that. But I like composting, and I do worm tea too. I used to do worm tea. That's a whole nother live video.
So you really helped me debut some of the myths. I thought you could throw anything in your compost, and I'm loving the fact that you're telling me what not to put in there. So tell us again, because I want to, if someone can put it in the chat, because that was very good. What not to put in your compost.
So you don't want to put anything dairy, like nothing milk, no cheese. You don't want to put like actual meat because then you're gonna encourage like a different type of bug that might get in there, and you want like the most organic type of things. So you could put like when I used to have my chickens, I used to use chicken. I used to use chicken poop, and the chicken poop I would throw in there and the bedding and stuff like that. So if you have a hamster or if you have a rabbit, by the way, if you have a rabbit and you want to compost, rabbit, I'm not gonna. It's funny, but rabbit poop is probably the best type of drop. But I'll say droppings. Rabbit droppings are the best type of droppings to use for composting because all they eat is grass, really, and it is not wet. So they call it like with chickens, it's called hot. So they have hot compost. So theirs, you have to like wait for it to dry, and then you have to like allow it to break down slower. So you don't want to just throw like chicken droppings straight on to like like something that's not high of a pH, because it's very acidic, I guess you could call it, like their droppings.
Okay, y'all, and I love rabbits, so we're gonna end up having chicken, rabbits, and all that on our farm. But and Zaya said, and horses. I like that. I like what you just said. And so look, let me tell you, everybody today, you should start composting. You don't need all the fancy dancy bins. Do you keep yours outside or inside your compost?
You can do either. So if you have it like secured in a way that you have like a tight seal that it won't smell, then you can do it like that. But it's a little bit easier to do it outside. So if you have, even if you do like you do like a small thing. Well, I had mine on a bigger scale. Like I had pallets, and I had everything that I would throw inside the pallet compost bin, and I would turn it. So you do have to eventually like turn it, and then once it looks a little dry, sometimes you have to wet on the top of it, but it really and truly, I mean, you just let it do what it does, and it's gonna break down on its own. Really, if you put the right stuff in it, it should break down. But I mean, you could, like I said, you could do it inside, but it'll smell. It's better outside because it gets ventilation out there, and you can control what you're. I would say like what you're putting in there for sure, because like everything that's from your house. Oh, you can use coffee grounds too. You can also put coffee grounds in your compost. I forgot about that one.
I like that because I use a lot of coffee grounds. And one time I had a big bag full of it. I was like, I don't know what to do with that. And while you're talking about coffee grounds, y'all listen. Somebody taught me this recently. So Tabitha, you're the expert. I have no idea what to do with it. They told me to start keeping these. So I did. Now, what do I do with them? This is eggshell.
So with the eggshells, you can put them straight into a compost bin, or if you want to even add some calcium to your plants, you can. I've seen people do it. I've just put the eggs, like I rinse them off, get like the egg yolk that's out of there, and that's it. I've seen other people, they like actually bake the shells, and they get them like super dry and crunchy, and then they sprinkle them into their plants. But I don't do any of that. I just rinse them out and then just do the same thing. I still sprinkle it, but that's how I do it.
So do you put it in a food processor or you just crush it?
You could crush it with your hand. You could put it in a blender. It will make like a dust, type of powdery like dust. So I'm not sure how people's allergies are. I know when I did it, it kind of like made like a big, like once you crush them all up and it's dry, it'll like make like a puff, and it doesn't smell great. It's not the best smell.
Okay. So if I crush this up with my hand, do I put it in the soil as is?
You can put that directly in the soil. I mean, eventually, like you'll get because you got like microorganisms and stuff that'll still eat that type of stuff because it's calcium. That's all it is. All the shell is just calcium.
I love this. I love this. So y'all keep your shells, okay? And look, we eat eggs at least well every day, but I cook at least 5 to 6 eggs a day. So I have a ton of shells. I'm gonna blend them up, and I like the fact that you said it's calcium. So I have some today. If I need to, I'll go ahead and crush it with my hand and add. Now, y'all, the wind is whipping, 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 whipping. Zaya was gonna start her seeding. Seed, what is it called? Seed garden. But the wind is like really beating my child up today. Little Bean, we might have to hold on 1 second. We're gonna have to figure it out. Oh, you know what, Little Bean? Tabitha. Let's see. If she puts the seed, so we have the loose, the what did you call it? The loose soil. That's what we're starting with for Little Beans, and we have the seeds. So this is, and Tabitha's gonna help us through this. All right. This is what we can y'all see Little Bean okay? Because I'm holding this phone. I don't know how to prop it. Let me see if I can prop it up. I don't know how to flip the camera. Somebody help me flip the camera on. That's what my daughter said. I don't know. This is StreamYard. The oldest is going to help me, unless someone else knows how. Erica, how are you doing while we're trying to figure out how to flip my camera around? I told y'all I am like literally an amateur at all of this, even technology. I love technology, but sometimes it doesn't love me.
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying
Hey, you
this
flipped it around?
immensely.
Awesome. We love you. All right, that's why I have the little one. That's why I have the oldest. Okay, so little one. She is Tabitha. She's gonna go ahead and start her seeding. So I told her to put the soil. Tabitha, let me ask you this. So you're saying don't put this part in, just the loose soil.
I mean,
That's
you
it.
can like once the plants get a little bigger, but when they're such small, especially seeds like broccoli seeds and stuff that have really small, you don't want to have it like you don't want to disturb the roots too much. You want to just keep them like just as much as you can do without disturbing them, and they could just grow freely. Then that's fine. I mean, I don't think those little teeny tiny pieces will do the worst to it, but you don't want to have like all of it be that, you know.
That makes sense. Okay, so Zoe, what we're gonna do is give Little Bean less of the bulky like this is. I guess this was mulching. I don't know what else it is.
That
Yeah, we're
stuff
not
is
gonna put.
good. That stuff is good potting soil wise. That's good for like I said, when you're transplanting it to a once it's already an established little baby plant, and then you're gonna
Mhm.
move it to a bigger pot. That's usually pretty good for those types of plants because it breaks down over time.
Okay. All right. So Little Bean, I'm gonna give you some more of the finer potty mix, not the bulky one, and we're gonna put it in each one. Then you're gonna take and she should water it right before you put the seed, or you put the seed in the water.
It's really, I mean, everybody has their own preference of ways that they do things. I like to dampen it a little bit just so it's so when you water it, it doesn't like it's not gonna sink too far down because soil like if it's dry, it'll be this big, and then when you water it, it'll shrink this small. So you want to I at least wet it and then add more as I need to if it's not enough in there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, Little Bean, here's some more soil for you. This is getting exciting. I hope y'all are able to help. Minnie's gonna have to move out of here. Sorry, because she's in. This is our container. We need it. Here, sit with the aloes, Minnie. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up. Y'all just watch for just a brief moment. I'm gonna help Little Bean. If my camera is off position, just let me know, Tab, because I can't tell what we're doing. You want to drink some water? Let's plant the seeds first, and then you can have some water. So look, you can shovel it, and remember what Miss Tabitha said. You don't want the big, tall, bulky ones, okay? The,
And
she
Kizzy,
doesn't
with
like.
those small seeds,
Uh
you
huh.
want to make sure you don't put them too deep. So with tiny seeds, all you need is like a little pinhole size little hole, and then you could drop that seed right in there and barely cover it with those with
Wow.
small seeds. I know, like with broccoli, they get. I mean, if it'll take longer to grow, I guess you could say it like that. Like if it's deeper down, and the seed is really really tiny, the root comes out probably really small, and the little head pops out, and they're tiny. So with lettuce
Oh.
seeds and like broccoli and little tiny little itty bitty seeds, you don't have to put them as deep down. So if you had like a kidney bean or some type of bean, you could like stick that down in. So in my mind, how I see it is the size of the seed is how deep you go down.
Wow, that's good advice. Okay, did y'all hear that? So, Little Bean, this is what Miss Tabitha said. She said the size of the seed is how deep you go down. So you notice your seeds are going to be tiny, tiny. Quick question: should I put the broccoli in a separate container than the microgreens?
I probably would because I've
Okay.
had it be that I've put stuff in the same container, and then if you don't label it, you get confused, and then you don't remember what's what, and then you end up with a broccoli and a lettuce, and then a lettuce and a broccoli. I mean, but
No,
it depends on how you want to do it. You could always do it right down the middle, put them in the same container. As long as you label it, you should be fine.
I'm going to end up with some hybrids here. I'm just saying. All right. 'Cause let's do them separate. Y'all ready? Okay, so let's do in this container the microgreens. That bug got in your face? So remember what Miss Tab said. You're just gonna take a small amount and you like gently sprinkle them. You want to wet your soil. I think Little Bean's getting annoyed by the wind. Here you go. Just a little water, very gently, and then you're gonna pet those. Are y'all excited? You get to grow. So this is what we're doing. This process is from seed level, okay? And y'all know I can give you so many lessons about seeds because when you see how small these seeds are, and I already know what the harvest is gonna look like because I eat microgreens. Yo, let me tell you something about these things, okay? It's called microgreen salad. It is one of the most nutrient filled food that you can add. Because they're microgreens, they are packed with nutrients at the seed level growing up. You can eat them while they likes to call it the germinating state. Before they become mature, you can actually eat the microgreens. All right, you ready? The sun is bothering you? Oh, here. I'm sorry. She said the sun was bothering her. You can take them. All right. So look, I'm gonna give you a few in your hand, and you want mommy to demonstrate for you? Look how small, y'all. These seeds are so tiny, and even the Word of God tells us the seed the size of a mustard seed, the grain of a mustard seed. Here, so take those, and you're just gonna drop them in and put just to remember what Miss Tab said. Here, take them from my hand. You can take your gloves off. Just put them in, just a few in each box. Yeah, I like playing in the dirt, so there you go, just a few, and then you put them down. And Tabitha, do we need to put more soil on top, or just let it be?
If it's really small seeds, you could like barely just like like a really light layer. It doesn't even have to be like a full layer because even some certain like greens and stuff, you could just throw the seeds right on the top, water it, and then just leave them how they are.
Y'all, that's pretty cool. So I do not have to put much effort in making these. And one of the rules of thumb, if I'm not mistaken, don't you water these once a week?
I would say you water it like if you put your finger in the soil and like and nothing comes off your finger and it's like dried for sure, then it needs to be watered. But when they're babies, you don't want to overwater them. So I would probably suggest with that type of setup, if you put like a little plastic layer over the top of it, like cling wrap or something like that over the top, so it can stay so it can pretty much incubate. So it's really just gonna you're gonna make condensation so it can
Oh,
stay wet all the time, so you don't have to constantly water it.
that is a great idea. So just put clear wrap over this. All right, little bean, I need you to label this. This one is your microgreens. And then we'll do the broccoli in another container. So now I'm going to go to doing the plant transfer. I like this. Zoe has been filling up a container. Tabitha, I have a question for you. So this is off subject, y'all. Totally off subject. But I had to bring my, what is this called? Mother-in-law tongue or snake plant, whatever they call it, to my plant doctor because my plant fell out of the container this morning. Well, I'm sorry, it was last week, but she said I overwatered it. Broke my heart. So she said, because if you can tell, I don't know if y'all can see this, I still have healthy leaves coming. This plant is so amazing. Everyone should have one. One of the benefits of having this in your house, it purifies your air. So plants are good not just for what you eat, but also for breathing. If you know the exchange, come on, my daughter who's in college. What is the exchange? Photosynthesis, am I right? She said I'm wrong. You, what is it called? It's a carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange. Am I right? Okay, so the human breathes out the carbon dioxide, which is beneficial to the plant. The plant, in exchange, give me oxygen that it releases, and it helps me. What this plant also does, because it releases that oxygen, it helps purify your air, but it also relaxes you. So I just learned that about this amazing plant. So Tabitha, if you can tell my roots, because we're gonna replant this, would you say I can just go ahead and put it back in the soil? Would you say put it in water? What would you do to get it back growing? Because she said it's still healthy.
What I would do, that's like just me. It's just me. I would probably if it was because it doesn't look like an unhealthy plant. It doesn't look like it's something that's dying. So I would just try to put it in some fresh soil and see how it does like that. Like
That's
put it
what we're
in
doing.
maybe like some like I said, maybe like something softer, like maybe like cocoa choir or something like that. But those plants are ruthless. Those plants grow everywhere in Florida, so you could
Are
grow
you
that in
serious?
sand. I've seen those things grow straight in sand.
Wow. I did not know that. And look, I'm sitting here babyfying it, and you are a. I love plants that are
I've learned that
enduring.
a lot of my plants I baby so much, but then when you realize that you don't have to do a lot for certain plants, you look at them and you're like, I baby this plant, and then this person is raising this plant in sand.
I mean, right? So y'all all know, if you know me, this is my favorite plant, the aloe. I actually took this plant, my aloe plant, and I have at least 20 of them for medicinal use. And if you know anything about aloe, it grows on its own. Like seriously, Tabitha, I don't do much with my aloe at all. very little. So I like plants like this. And this one I forgot the name of it. I actually forgot the name of it. That's a shame. This is really good for oxygen in your house. Okay, so Tabitha, do you remember the names? I honestly forgot.
Is it a palm? Is it a type of palm tree?
It is a palm, but I forgot the. Is this the fan palm? I think that's the
Okay.
name of it. I don't know. It grows super, super easy, y'all. And then, of course, everyone knows this one. This one's very popular. We see this one all the time. So, why do I have these plants out here? Because it's not just about the plants that you can eat. It also, I want you to have plants that you can have indoors. Tabitha, I gave a teaching, and that's for everybody in here. If you don't have at least 4 or 5 plants inside of your house, do so now. The quality of the air outdoors has changed tremendously. So you want your indoor air to be very safe. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that, anything crazy is going on in the outside world, but if it does happen, at least I know my indoor air is safe. And these plants tend to purify. This one in particular, it has a purification in it, so it helps you. All right. I do apologize to y'all. I don't know the official names of these. Maybe Tabitha can help look it up, or somebody can look it up. I don't know the official names. I just know you need to have them in your home. Peace lily is another plant I know is really good to have in the home. Do you suggest any others?
I was looking it up too. It says that I looked up like a list of a few that people could put in their house. Aloe vera is always good. It says queen fern is a good one. A rubber tree, the snake plant, which you already have. English ivy, which kind of looks just like a pathos plant. Really, it doesn't really look like it looks like a pathos plant. I know pathos plants are good for that too. Um, a weeping fig tree. A bromeliad. Bromeliads are really pretty, by the way. If you ever see a bromeliad, those are. I'll show you guys a picture. So where's the camera? So this is a bromeliad. That's really pretty.
Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah,
Let me
you can
get
have
that.
that in your house. That's a pretty one.
Is it
And
good to grow in
then
any region?
red. Do you have? Is this the tree that you have right there? That's not the same tree, is it?
Yeah, I think that is it. What is that called?
That is called red edged dracaena. I don't know, something like that. Red edged. I want to say dracaena, but I don't want to say it like that. Oh, a philodendron is also a good plant too. I've seen those. Those get pretty big. Like they don't get huge, but they're like a product of their environment. So they'll grow as big as your pot lets it. So if you keep it in a small pot, it'll stay small. Yeah, there's a bunch of plants on here.
I love that. Oh, look. So we went to farmers market and they was able to do this, and I'm pretty sure y'all all know this is. I believe the common name is ivy, right? We call it the ivy. And the farmer market, they literally took a jar and water, and they said for her to watch. How long did she tell you? A week in the water, and she said every week just watch it, and when it roots, transplant it. I have one of these. We call it, y'all. We call it Rapunzel. I should have showed you. In 1 year, the leaves are so long, it drapes over and takes over my entire planter. So this plant, I'm not gonna say it's invasive, but it is. It likes to have its own space. And today at farmers market, they gave her these. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this now. Who's ready? This is Kizzy B's clinic. My daughter has been filling up the potty mix, and now we're gonna go ahead and add. So Tabitha is gonna guide me because if I make any errors, she's gonna be like, Kizzy, that's not how you do it. So I'm gonna ask a quick question. I'm gonna start with my. Oh, yo, hold on. Before I get into my spill, I never knew stevia, and I know I am a registered dietitian. You should say, Kizzy, you should have known better, but I didn't know. I did not know that stevia grows like this. I thought it was like a big old bush or something weird
And it's
plant.
so sweet. That is probably the
Oh,
sweetest leaf ever. You can eat that straight from like I've had a stevia plant before, and it blew my mind to know that stevia came from that plant right there.
I love that you said that. So the farmer, he was like, "Hey, why don't you try it?" I said, and he knows us. I was like, "I don't want to try that." He said, "I put no pesticides on it. Why don't you try it?" Yo, this is super sweet. It shocked me. Like I love eating mint. I can do that no problem, parsley. But when I taste this, I was like, whoa, this is a whole nother different ball game. So I have stevia. I have lavender, rosemary. I think this is a no. That's my tomato plant. We're gonna do that one last. My mint. Now, can you tell them a little bit about mint? Yo, mint is one of the plants, and I'm almost done because I told you I was gonna let y'all go. Mint is a very invasive plant. This thing started so small and it just takes over. But what I understand is mint is actually good for your garden. Is that correct? If you have a in-ground garden. So the mint, what we noticed is that it actually keeps bugs away. So that's one of the another reason why I like the mint. It keeps the bugs away. They don't come and mess with us when we have mint around. All right, guys. So thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and plant the peppers and yeah, let's do the peppers first. So again, I'm using a food grade container. We have a potting mix. This is not potting soil. It has peat moss. It has some kind of grains in it. This thing has, and you can make your own. You don't have to buy this. I bought commercial just because of my time constraint. So Tabitha, do I need to fertilize this soil? I forgot to ask that question earlier. I do have a fertilized. I have some plant food, but I want to know: do I need to put it in here?
You really don't. Like everyone, I feel like everyone always has like this stigma of thinking like, those little beads and stuff, like the slow release fertilizers and stuff like that. A lot of plants, all you gotta do is add some compost. All you gotta do is add a little handful of like everything. If you do it on your own and you do like I said, organic stuff, you could add coffee grounds to that and it'll be fine. You could add some if your compost is already starting to decompose and become like, if it's not food, still food, and it's already looking like dirt, you could throw a little bit of that in there and those plants will grow like nothing. I've even seen people do there's two different things that I've tried one of them. So one of them was when you're gonna grow things in the ground, you could put an actual whole egg, like an organic chicken egg. You put the egg inside of the ground and you plant the plant right on top of the egg. Because what happens is when the egg breaks down like over time, the nutrients and the proteins from the egg get seeped into the plant. Like the plants are gonna suck it up. But with the other option, I've seen people put things in the ground and put like if they go fishing or whatever and they have like a fish carcass, they take the carcass of the fish and they plant that in the ground because all the microorganisms are gonna eat or they're gonna eat it, and then the plants are gonna still take all the nutrients from the fish as well.
Now that
But that
is a
soil
good
looks
tip.
fine.
Wow, no, that was a good tip. Thank you for the egg, especially the egg tip. And guess what, y'all? I just made a big, big, big mistake, huge mistake. And Tabitha, I'm gonna need to see how to rectify this. So I just told Zoe we put the soil in this container, and y'all know what I forgot to do. Tabitha, I'm sure you know what I forgot to do. I forgot to put holes at the bottom because it has to drain.
You can
Oh
still
my
do it. You
goodness.
can do it after. So you can still plant the plants in there and you could still water and do everything that you want to do, but don't overwater it to the point that the soil is going to be like oversaturated and like if it starts to pool up in there and you can see
Hmm.
that the water is really like I said pooling, then you know you have too much water because when you get home you can always just drill the holes on the bottom once you're done. You don't have to take everything out and then redo it. You could always just do it after.
Okay, that makes me happy. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to happy planning because I was gonna dump all this out and start over. But I just need to let y'all see one. So we started with a potting mix. These are food grade containers. I'm gonna add soil. Like Tabitha just told us, you do not fill it to the top. This is a jalapeno pepper, which is my favorite pepper. I love peppers. These are already rooted. I talked to the farmer. He told me I am happy to transplant this now. It is already moist. So this is called a transplant. I'm going to take it out. And you notice how the lip of the lid is here? And I did not fill it up because, again, Tabitha, he told me, I don't know if y'all can see this. And it's always good to talk to your farmers, your nurseries, and get the information of how to plant it. He said to pull the soil all the way up to here for stability, because if not, this plant is going to blow over very easily. As you can tell, the wind is knocking it over. So now I'm going to do that. Zaya, can you hold this for me? Because I need both of my hands. And just hold it like that so they can, no, not the plant, the camera, the cell phone, just so they can see. All right. She's having a little struggle. You can sit right here. All right. And just hold it right here. I'm going to take it out. Okay. I think the best thing is, don't you just gently tap it? Y'all, this is all new to me. I'm telling y'all, I am not the expert. Do I
I
just
know
gently
for
tap it?
with me with the circle pots, like when you have like stuff in circle pots, I tend to do it like that. I roll it because when it's a circle, I roll it out, and then it usually pops out. But as long as you're, so I don't pull it. I like kind of just flip it and let it just like plop on my hand. Because and then
Okay.
if you pull it, you don't want to like injure like the little baby roots and stuff that are all the way at the bottom. So if
Well,
you
that's good
squeeze it,
information.
you start
Uh-huh.
squeezing like the bottom of it, it should come loose. Because you
Okay.
want those
That,
roots that are up there to come out.
I'm glad you said that because I was like, how are these going to come through? So just keep squeezing. Oh, there it goes. Yay. And all of the root. Oh, this is a beautiful root system. Yeah, look at this. It's amazing. Do I need to break up any of this or just put it straight down?
I usually like when the pots are a little drier, that looks like it's pretty wet. But if it's
Mm-hmm.
a little bit drier, I break it up a little bit so it can have more space to finally get like its roots into the fresh dirt. But that looks pretty good. You could plant that straight into the bucket.
All right, y'all. Look, we're planting our jalapeno plants. Amazing. And so now I'm gonna fill it. Can you bring it down, Tabitha? Do I need more soil? Bring it in the. Do I need more soil? Or is that good?
If you wanna dig, so what you do, so you know, like the pot that it just came out of, if
Hmm.
you press it down and you get it down into the dirt up to the same level, that should be fine. Unless you have more dirt to put around it, because you want to be able to put the dirt up to level where the soil was before.
That is a
But it should
great
be good
point.
because now, like I said, the roots are just gonna fall down into the bucket, so they shouldn't have an issue growing.
Awesome. Okay, so we're just gonna add some, and it was pretty moist. So I'm just going to gently, or do I firmly pack it down?
You don't gotta baby it. You can push it a
You
little bit.
know, yo, I've been learning that you don't have to babyfy them. I'm just so gentle with my plants. It's funny. Okay, so that looks good to me. I put it where he said, and you said do not fill it to the top because I need to have room for watering. Y'all, look at this. Come on, come grow with me. We actually have our first vegetation in a container pot. This is a jalapeno plant. If you know me, I love all things pepper. And this
You
is
like spicy
actually,
stuff, Kizzy?
do I? Oh my God. Y'all,
You
I
know
eat
what?
habanero.
I'm gonna have to send you some seeds from my husband's. We have a ghost pepper plant, and that thing makes. We have one in there. He's gonna come grab it for you. This
Oh
little
my goodness. Y'all,
Look at this.
I,
We grow these in our. We have these that we grow, and these things right here. These things are spicy. They're like,
that's a
I
whole
mean,
nother level of spice.
this is different. I don't really do spice, but I could take like a little slither of it, and a little slither goes a long way for me. So I'm gonna have to send you
Wow.
some seeds of this for sure.
Oh, I would appreciate that. I have habanero at home and they're pretty good, but ghost pepper is another level of heat, y'all. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a ghost pepper. That thing right there. We got them from a friend of ours that she's from where is she from? She's Caribbean. Just she's so she knows spice. So she gave us that and we were like, okay, we're gonna try it, and it's been spicing ever since.
Wow. All right. So Tabitha, what I'm noticing, the wind is whipping and the plant, I can tell it keeps trying to uproot. And he did warn me. Is there anything I need to maybe tie around it to
You could
maybe
put like a
prod?
small like if you have like a barbecue stick, like one of those
Uh-huh.
small little sticks, and then tie it Like you can just go like this, like you plant it in there, and then you attach it to the stick like a little string, and then it should be sturdier, so it doesn't blow in the wind like that.
That
Or
is a
you can
good
just get a
idea.
stick. Any you can just get a regular stick. It doesn't have to be a barbecue stick. It could be any type of stick, as long as it's
Example.
small enough to fit next to it.
Well, while we're out here, go find me a stick. That's funny.
A
Isaiah,
tall stick,
stick.
like at least
Give me a
know,
tall stick,
yeah, tall enough to be able to tie it to the plant.
and we'll tie this up. Okay, so we have one done. Do I need to water this since I just planted, or leave it as is?
You want to water so the roots can now, because you just took it out of its home, so it's been stuck in that little spot. So now it's gonna establish. Now it's gonna know how much freedom it has. So once you water it, it should be good. And like I said, don't
Okay.
forget to make the holes when you get home.
Oh, Zoe and Zaya, please don't let me forget to make holes when I get home. Because, yeah, that's important or it won't drain. Um, yo, I've had my share of root rot, and it breaks my heart every time that happens. Don't overwater your plants. Hey, little one, come see. Mommy needs your help. As y'all can tell, I'm on an uphill battle with this wind, and all of my vegetation is like blowing everywhere. So I'm gonna have to maybe go ahead and put some of this up. Oh my goodness! Do y'all see this fierce wind? Goodness! All right, and Tabitha, not to just say the wind is whipping. The dirt that's flying is in our eyes. So thank y'all so much. I'm gonna go ahead and water this plant. Go put it in the car because I want it to stay safe. And we're gonna continue planting. Is there anything else you want to say, Tabitha, before we close today?
Um, I wish I would have had. If maybe on the next time, the next go around, I'll be at my mom's house because I have all my plants over there, and I could give you guys a little tour of the plants that I have in my pretty much my container garden because all of them are in pots right now. But I don't have anything else.
I love it. Thank y'all so much for being here. I know a lot of people are signing off just because we are after the 11 o'clock hour. However, I wanted to, because this will be up, so they'll be able to listen to the replay. I wanted to tell you more about Tabitha's initiative. She and her husband has an initiative. Actually, Tabitha, you tell them about your initiative, and we will make sure we tag and post your giving information. If you can go ahead and tell them a little bit more about that.
Okay, so anybody who wasn't in the room earlier, because we had talked about a little bit about it earlier, but so what we are doing is our goal is to be able to feed the community farm fresh produce at no cost. So we are going to be donating everything that we grow to food pantries, to nursing homes, homeless shelters, things like that, churches if need be, schools, wherever Planted with Purpose can donate some veggies and some fruit is what we're going to be doing. So right now we are currently fundraising. Our goal is 300,000. It sounds like a lot to many, but like I mentioned before, it is nothing to God. That is penny to the dollar to God. So we are, just raising funds right now. We've been meeting with different people and stuff like that to try to see what we can do in regards to land. So right now we're just looking, keeping it in our mind. We're just thinking about, okay, like where can we go, who can we go to, but at the end of the day we know God's in control. God can just send us somebody and could bless us with 10 acres of land, and then that could be good. So we're still just looking, and like I said, fundraising. We did raise almost $2,000 so far. We're still continuing to raise funds, um, because we, even if we don't purchase the land and we have to lease land or something, things got to get paid for regardless. So we got to get the supplies, and we're gonna have to get seeds, and we're gonna have to get irrigation systems. So that 300,000 isn't just for land; it's for everything included with supplies and everything. So like Kizzy said, thank you so much either way, but thank you so much for having me today and being able to join you on your container gardening clinic today. I'd love to be a part of more of them for sure. To and hopefully we'll have more like other gardeners and stuff to be able to join us and stuff like that. Um, to put in their inputs and stuff like that, because everybody does things their own ways and the ways that they've learned and what works for them. So everybody does things different. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you, Kizzy, again for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh no, we appreciate you being here. You have been amazing. Thank you to my Facebook family, my YouTube family, to everyone who's been here. Hey Zaya, hey Zoe. I said it backwards. That's Zaya, that's Zoe. And hey to my girls for helping me out here. Can you turn my camera back around so I can tell them all hi? Thank you so much. Okay, I'm back. So thank y'all again for being here. I really appreciate you from my heart. This is Grow With Me, Kizzy B. And yes, Tabitha, we will have a part 2 clinic because we're going to do some more difficult level of planting. I actually am going to do fig and citrus tree. I have to learn a little bit more about that for my region. But I believe that, we can grow anything. So we started simple today, but it's going to get more advanced. Y'all come on next time with Grow With Me, Kizzy B. Thank you all for being here. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, Tabitha. Bye, Erica. Bye, Jackie. Bye, Casey. Bye, Angela. Bye, Lawrence. And everyone else who joined in today. Goodbye.